might have to press play after the
This
timer.
is a demonstration of
Oh, on that
Wirecast.
computer, on both
On
computers?
here.
Okay.
Not on there.
Mhm.
This is exactly what the public will say.
Starting soon. So yeah,
Okay.
you have to start the stream.
So you just
Yeah.
press that.
You press the start stream and then it eventually streams, so. And it should couple seconds then.
But as we did in test 3, you previewed it and hit start, oh no, we let the counter
Counter go down.
Go down.
Yeah.
And if you press start streaming before the counter's done, it'll send it.
Start, yeah, right away, yeah.
This is a
So, I
demonstration
mean,
of Wirecast.
The whole issue right now is kind of getting the workflow down, and then for this, and if we can get a workflow for that, and then figure out a solution, we can kind of properly gauge between Wowza and YouTube. So we're still working on a developer solution with Ben and his group. We might be able to get something that'll properly work. You know, I don't doubt it. I think we can find something, but
Yeah. And the other thing about YouTube is the second you press the stop streaming button, the event doesn't go away. You can just replay it.
replay it over and
Yeah,
over.
it just shows the
The archiving
Of
features are very
Wirecast.
good with YouTube.
It doesn't make
You
it
always
So you
separate
have
file.
if it was an event that we wanted to stream live, but then after the stream not make available, we'd have to manually go in, go to that stream and tell it to be private.
I think so, but there might be a setting for that. I feel like people run into that a lot. So yeah,
If
this
there's
is
a
now.
setting, if there's a setting that allows it to stream once and then go private after, that would be useful.
That would be awesome.
Um,
Something Wowza can do. They actually have options to choose live times.
That's
private times,
that's
so.
definitely
This is a
doable. I mean,
demonstration of
there's
Wirecast.
There's no
Yeah,
You're
right.
major-
Yeah, you just check this and it automatically makes
make
it private
private
once the
event
event's
after
done.
the
And
X,
that's
yeah.
something you can set up when you make the event.
Yeah.
perfect.
Now the only thing about that is, you know, you are creating and work for the student workers. You're creating a little bit more work, but prepping it as long as you can prep the events, like you can go in and prep the events.
Well, I'll
for a
know
week,
ahead of time which ones
Yeah, whatever you can do for a week
are
or for a
streaming
month.
and allowed to
Yeah.
stay, which ones are not streaming at all, which ones are gonna stream only
Now,
live and then not be
The one
available.
thing about
This
these
is a
is
demonstration of Wirecast.
now that's a question for you really.
Mm.
Can we just record to YouTube and not make it available online?
Yes,
Yeah.
You can
when you
Make it a
create the
private
event, you
stream.
just make it
Make
a private event.
and then it'll save to YouTube. Okay.
Right, but it won't stream live.
Won't stream live.
And no one else, no viewers will have access to
Yeah,
it.
Or
in
you
that
can make it
situation.
unlisted. and set
Unlisted,
it
yeah,
to
that would work too. So.
Well,
So
I agree
workable.
with you that that's not difficult, but compared to where the whole project started from the user standpoint,
To where we
And
are
I
at.
hate-
Yeah.
This is a
I hate
demonstration
live
of
stream.
Wirecast.
I keep bringing up live stream,
Mhm.
but you launch one program, there's a dialog box, a drop-down list, you select your event and you hit go.
Go. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Now, I
So
think
Right, so
I
you
think
should
we can
press
get
two go buttons.
yeah we could I think we can get to that with
Well, you
with Wowza. I think we really
you said you have to press two go buttons?
You press the go button in Wirecast, and you press the go button on YouTube.
You
All
know-
the other stuff we did, the student worker wouldn't have to do.
you
They
know
wouldn't have to authenticate.
he would.
That
This is
would,
a
yeah,
yeah,
you-
but
you
that
would
would be
need
in the
Wirecast.
process
They
of
wouldn't have
opening
to
Wirecast.
preview.
No, they would have to preview and then have.
But that's the same as the go button.
Okay, that's your. But you'd have to press it would be Wirecast, authenticate, stream, preview, go. That would be the process.
And with
The whole
Wowza, it would be Wirecast, authenticate, stream. You just wouldn't have the extra
Yeah.
button.
And then to bring it down to it, I mean, if we had a machine that constantly streamed the room, we could do that all on the back end with a developer from the web development end. We could just have
This is
it
a demonstration of
unlock or not
Wirecast.
unlock, so that or record or not record. So the room will be streamed 100% of the time, and then
Visible and
it would more like you can't get to it or you can get to it, and it would be a button on a website. Make available, don't make available, and then record and don't record. So that's what would
Then
be
how
the
would you
API.
attach the data to it, the text,
The whole thing,
identifiers?
the identifiers would all be done by the website. The website, you'd have an embedded site and create a new event, you know,
This
by
is a
typing in, you
demonstration
go to a
of
website and say, I wanna
Wirecast.
create a new event in Wowza. You would do that. It would use this stream, you would enter in the stream name, and the event starts, and a student worker would go in and press turn on. And then the event would then stream, and if you told them, I also want to record, they'd press those two buttons. But the stream would be 100% of the time. The camera would be 100% of the time running, which is not a bad thing. It's just
It's a lot of
develop,
data.
it's a lot of data, but we also have to figure a way, the development
This
side,
is a
that's the hard
demonstration
part.
of
Figuring
I have
out
had
what's
one
in the
crash
ground.
on me.
I have too, and I've had the, computers crash on me once, so it's a matter of figuring out the best thing for it, and really we need more testing on the development side for
Yeah.
Wowza to really figure it
I
out.
would say in
This could theoretically get us up and running right away.
I would say Wowza's it would take a lot of development, it would also cost money.
No. The
No.
cost, I mean, well, compared to that,
Look,
I mean,
YouTube
compared to
would be
YouTube,
completely
it's,
free.
it's practically free. Because we're still obviously paying cost for the cameras and
We also
the
wouldn't have
the
to
service
buy
would be free.
Equipment and so
Mhm.
forth.
With
but-
just YouTube, we also wouldn't have to buy Wirecast, because we could just use the Wirecast.
Yeah, they do
for
have a
YouTube.
Wirecast YouTube version, which is free, so there's also that potential too, so. I think,
What's the difference between the YouTube Wirecast and
it doesn't have as many options, it's not a pro version.
It does everything we want, but you can only stream to YouTube.
Only YouTube, yeah, and there's also, I mean, if you were to eventually go to a more professional way of doing things, you wouldn't be able to cut to different streams, you wouldn't, there's all that kind of stuff. If you wanted to expand it,
This is a
it'd be pretty
demonstration
limited,
of
but, I mean,
Wirecast.
honestly, purchasing a version and let down the road's not that hard.
You can also just upgrade the YouTube version.
Yeah, and then upgrade that to a pro version, and now you have Wirecast Pro versus Wirecast YouTube version. There's a lot, there's a lot you gotta think about right now. I know there's a lot, there's definitely, the two options I think personally right now is YouTube and Wowza. I don't think it's Ustream, personally. That's just my opinion. I think these are the two best.
I agree.
solutions.
As I mentioned, I don't remember if it was the end of last week or earlier this week that I sent out an email to you and Anton, and,
Yeah.
and I basically
It's
said,
too
from my
much.
perspective, Ustream should be taken off the
This is a
table at this point
demonstration
because
of
I
And that
don't.
software, while it is simple, is very, very unreliable.
Yeah,
I couldn't
it's,
stand it.
all
What
of those.
Ustream software, while it is simple, it is very unreliable and very confusing.
Well, the Ustream software itself won't accept the audio from the stream anyway. So
I'm sure we could fix that if we tried, but I
Well,
really-
Ustream we didn't have a problem with. It was
It was live stream,
yeah,
we were-
Livestream
yeah.
and Ustream, their proprietary software
Yes,
would
right.
not have the exact same problem. That's where
Yeah, we had some,
Wirecast came in.
Wirecast came in, solved the Ustream problem, but did not solve the live
This
stream
is a
problem. So the
demonstration
third-party
of
services
Wirecast.
right now we're looking at really haven't been too great for us. It seems to me like the Flash video champs are YouTube, and the creators of streaming video, Wowza, are the only two people we can really rely on right now. Both of them require Wirecast though. Either way, we're doing either a free version of Wirecast or a non-free version of Wirecast. We're required to do it, so in the end, we're basically deciding if we're going with a free version with a little bit of more extra work, or we're going to, a free version with a little bit more extra work, and a paid version with a lot more expandability. Those are our basic two options, so. And it's gonna probably take a little longer to get the Wowza up and running. So it's a lot to think about, and I'm sorry to hammer it with you right now. It's just, I like them both. I really do. I think they're both really cool options. I really like Wowza because it's just got so much potential. The entire institute could use it potentially. Streaming, we put it on the right server. Streaming, like I was saying, we're doing right now. Wowza is running 5 streams
This is a
simultaneously
demonstration
right now.
of
Of that
Wirecast.
one video that we're running right now. It's different, if anybody wanted to bring it up on their phone, they could bring it up on their phone.
well, as
If they
a
wanted to
YouTube
bring
can
it
do
up.
the same.
as a
Not necessarily, it couldn't, if it was an HTML5 format, I could
If
bring it
anyone
up on
has a
it.
smartphone, they can bring it up on.
They
their
could,
phone
but I could
and
bring it
watch
up on
live.
any device theoretically.
Any device
any
that runs
format.
YouTube, which is just about everything,
Yeah,
can show the live
not
streams.
everything, but you're right, just about everything would be able to run it,
Just
so,
about.
just about.
that's what I was seeing with YouTube as well, is that ultimately
This is a
you could
demonstration
run,
of
you could watch it on your
Wirecast.
phone, you could watch it on your television, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Mhm.
Looking at the development stages and what else would need to go into Wowza,
Uh-huh.
it seems to me, maybe it's a statement, not a question,
Uh,
or a statement followed by a question, but in any case, it seems to me, from where I'm sitting, that what we should do is move forward with YouTube
Okay,
This is a
and
demonstration
actually
of
set it up and
Wirecast.
run full-length tests, even some performances
Okay.
with the microphones and the audio, get some performers in, and really hash out the workflow
mm-hmm,
of how YouTube would be used and implemented.
okay,
And focus on that with Wowza in the background, as you said, as could be used as an institute-wide resource
Mhm.
with a lot of future expansion,
Mhm.
maybe that is something that the institute
This is a
needs to look at
demonstration of
for
Wirecast.
future implementation. That maybe
And I
we get down the road a little bit
That's-
and we abandon YouTube and we switch everything over
Mhm.
to
And that would
That's
be that-
potentially, but that's the thing right now, the reason why the project's so important right now is for its potential enterprise usage between the entire institute. If we were able to hammer something out as your demonstration of the, we could probably even get the institute to pay for it. That would be the one thing that we'd wanna look at. But I do agree, YouTube is super freaking easy,
I
it's
think you
super
could-
freaking cheap,
I
so.
think you could absolutely
Is
use
a
YouTube as at least a
demonstration of
temporary solution.
Wirecast.
If
Yeah,
they
at least
both
get
come
you
out
up
of
and running.
Wirecast. So the thing on the computer with the camera, none of that would change.
Mhm.
You just check a different box when you switched over to Wowza. It would not be a difficult switch.
Right, and on the institute side of it, as far as the web page is concerned,
Mhm.
for YouTube, what we'll have built is basically the pages saying this or whatnot within the HIDA webpage and the School of Music webpage with
Mhm.
links taking you directly to the YouTube event pages to watch from there.
Yeah.
So there'll just be pages on our
This is a
webpage with links to take
demonstration
you
of
to YouTube,
Wirecast.
not
And
embedding
you
it.
can,
And all that would change then, if Wowza was integrated, is that now all of a sudden, you're still going to essentially the same webpage on our
Correct. And
website,
now
but
it's
now the
integrated
video's
to that.
embedded
Mhm.
right there, and
Uh-huh.
you don't have to follow a link,
Yeah.
so.
for YouTube, you can embed the same way.
Yeah,
It's just,
you
you just replace that code with the Wowza
With the
code.
Wowza code.
Right,
What
so
it
with
was,
YouTube,
it's HTML5
YouTube
or-
won't automatically embed to the page that we want, and it won't maintain itself that way, which you're saying
Wowza
Wowza can be
will.
set up to automatically
Oh,
embed
I
where
see.
we want.
Yeah, that's,
But if we can embed with YouTube,
Yeah.
but
But
we
it would
need
be
somebody
faster.
maintaining each and
Wirecast.
every
Each
event.
Actually, I wonder about that.
you could
I don't-
probably tell it to query, you could probably tell, I don't know how to do it, I'm not a developer,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I don't know
so-
how to do it either. but
Yeah, that would
I'm
be
sure
something,
we
you
could
probably
do
could query it, but it's something we'd have to, it's still a development issue that we'd have to work with, but.
Mm.
So I think we should talk to Anton too, bring him in and see, tell him what you think about the issue, what you figured out here and what we showed you there and what we showed you with Wowza. I think we're getting into crunch time, so we probably should start making a decision.
Right, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, so,
This is
do you
a
mind if I schedule a
demonstration of
meeting next
Wirecast.
week with all three of us?
That's fine,
That's awesome,
yeah,
cool.
as soon as possible,
Yeah,
I'll
that's
make
my goal.
this is, I mean, I have only a couple top priorities
Yeah, I know,
before
right?
classes start, and this is definitely one of them,
Okay,
so
cool.
anytime you guys are available to finalize
schedule
this
it
kind of
next week.
stuff and get
Mhm.
together, I'll make myself
That's it,
available.
I think that's what we'll do, we'll schedule a week, sometime next week, we'll talk
But
about it.
what you're saying is that with the Wowza thing, this initial launch, if we could get Wowza up and running
Uh-huh.
and use the School of Music's as an example of
Yeah,
what it
as
can
the
do
push, yeah.
is
Of
what would be
Wirecast.
a demonstration to the whole
Yeah,
institute
as
of
the
what
full
we
on-
can do.
this
And
is-
do you think we'll lose that ability if we start streaming
With
YouTube and try to
YouTube,
transition
it
into
won't,
it because we need more leg time for
you know,
development?
it would, I think it would kind of push people away of why are we doing it that way then? Why, it's really not, why do it this way when we can do it this way? It adds, there's definitely a value added to it if we were to do it as an example. Is music has done it this way, it works
Demonstration of
really well. If we can
Wirecast.
get a whole system laid out, it could be, potentially an ASU-wide thing, not just an institute-wide. And then it adds value to our unit as a whole, adds value to the institute as a whole. So the potential for use is wider than just us, it's wider than just School of Music, it's an ASU-wide kind of thing. If we can find a standard, a way of doing it that kind of shows an example for the whole university, it could be big, and that's what we're thinking too.
I still think that could be
This is a
done.
demonstration of
Um,
Wirecast.
I still think that could be done, even if we start off.
Yeah, as a
with
temporary kind of
YouTube
solution.
As,
Mhm.
as a, this is,
Get
as
it
a
going.
launch, to
Mhm.
make sure that we can get
Can
it
get
going
stuff
on
going,
time,
yeah.
get it started.
Absolutely.
I still think that value is still there and
Yeah.
justifiable. I don't think that starting off on YouTube
It's gonna diminish
is gonna diminish that. I don't think, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
could
something
be
we'll have to talk,
wrong,
it
but-
depends on, it depends on how Heather looks at it, or how Dean Tepper looks at it, and how we all, how the bigwigs look at it, that's what we'll look at it, but either way,
This is a
we have a
demonstration
solution
of
potentially there,
Wirecast.
and ready to go almost instantaneously with YouTube, so why don't we do that, we'll get a meeting going, we'll talk about it, we'll see what's going on, make it awesome, we'll get it up and running, I'm fairly confident that we're gonna make this happen, and make it happen fairly quickly too, if we decide YouTube or decide whatever direction we go, we'll make it happen. Do you have any questions? You're like, my brain is.
Can we crack
Okay.
open that JVC and hardwire an HDMI output to it?
You know what I did find on
Demonstration of
it? The
Wirecast.
pan tilt zoom thing, there is an HDMI, it uses HDMI to plug into it.
Yeah, it
So,
does.
I mean, if you don't want the pan tilt zoom, you can use the HDMI.
Well, if
It's
we
like-
don't want pan
Tilt
tilt
zoom,
zoom,
we
we
might
can
as well
put
go
any
with another,
HD
yeah,
camera on,
yeah.
HDMI camera on there. It's just, that's
The benefit
the
of
whole
it.
thing that takes us back to the most simplistic way that we've seen this whole operation running right now is all based off of
The functionality of
that
that thing.
function, that output. If we could just get, okay, wishing one hand, shit in the other, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Demonstration
So,
of Wirecast.
so that's
I
what,
can't find another camera that'll do it.
I've been,
$3,000 camera.
yeah, I've been looking.
And you can't Wi-Fi control them. You have to
Yeah.
have
Something.
proprietary-
stupid plugins, RS-232 or something.
RS-232 stations, and those are $1,000.
Yeah,
So
it's
like
like-
I was saying before, if we swapped out cameras, we could get one with an HDMI out and go into a capture device and do it all on live stream. And
Cost goes up.
the user end of it is so simple, but it's
Here's cost ratio.
$5,000
Yeah,
from
there's,
equipment.
we'll find a
As opposed
solution.
This is a demonstration of
For,
Wirecast.
yeah, 3,000, yeah.